Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing well. So in today's video, I'm joined by my lovely fiance. This is great.
Hello.
It's the first time. This is Dennis. Give you a little bit of his background. What are you? What do you do?
I'm a chiropractor. Today, we're going to be talking a bit about man feelings. That's why I'm here. The male representative of this video.
Yeah, so this video is going to be talking about basically helping men to be more in touch with their feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to explain what got you thinking, what made you want to do this video in the first place?
So basically, I'm a very rational person. Every decision that I make, career, work, life, romance, which should be emotional, but I make it rational for some reason. That's just me. Dating a counselor, though, made me kind of realize, especially being a guy, that there is some importance in keeping in touch or using your emotions, because it's very useful to have.
I think what hit you the most in our relationship was me taking his feelings very seriously, and
it was a build-up process, but the ultimate trigger was a few weeks ago we had an argument, right, as couples do, and I said something that she took into consideration just purely based on how I felt. So I said, I feel like this, so I don't know if I make sense or not, but this is how I feel. What do you think about that? I thought, using my own mindset, that's not a good enough explanation, because me being a rational person, if we want to make changes in our relationship, then it better make sense. It didn't make sense. It was just based on my personal feelings, but she took it into consideration anyway, because that's how I felt. And that was a really new thing to me, and that was the ultimate trigger of why I think feelings is important, not just to guys, not just to relationships, not just when you're having fights in a relationship, but just all the time. And guys are not in touch with their feelings at all. In my circle of friends, in general society, is everywhere.
yeah, and it starts from a very young age. For example, if little boys start crying or they try to express some form of emotion, it's the common thing to kind of respond to that is, boys don't cry, or oh, stop it, stop crying, you're a boy. So that's what I hear a lot, which is quite damaging, and it teaches boys from a very young age that to express emotion is weak, not allowed. It's attached to a negative trait. And it's sad, because at the end of the day we are all human and we all experience emotions, and just because we have, female and male genders doesn't make us any different. Society thinks that girls are allowed to be more emotional, way more than guys are. We then get a lot of boys growing up feeling like they can't really talk to anyone, and even if they do talk to somebody about their feelings, they feel more feminine, or they feel weak, or they feel not man enough.
From a layman's perspective, even from just a guy, we all know this, guys, that every time we start talking about feelings, gak usah with sesama cowok, yeah, even like if you talk to girls about your feelings sometimes, or even with your parents about your feelings, unfortunately parents do this too, they would say something like, man up, or guys would banter and say, aha, homo lu, gayness is equated as feelings for guys, so you don't want to be gay, don't share your feelings. Or they would have to change the subject, or they would have to man up and say something like, oh, you feel down because you just broke up, oh, let's get you a beer, oh, let's get you some more girls to have a look at, So
there's always a distraction.
There's always a distraction.
Something else.
There is never a time to process the feelings.
Yeah.
And that is the message that all guys are getting from when you're young, from your parents, to your social circle, to your career, to your relationships, and it's damaging, and it's a dual standard. Isn't there scientific backing that actually says there is no anatomical or biological evidence that men have less feelings than girls? There's no such thing.
Exactly.
So never feel, oh, but hormonally,
Yeah.
but anatomically, oh, but biologically, I'm a man. I'm supposed to have less feelings.
Yeah.
There's no scientific evidence for that ever produced. So don't develop this delusioned double standard that guys are supposed to be less feeling.
Or they're supposed to be better,
at handling feelings.
Like,
There's no scientific evidence to support that. So
or that even like women aren't great at controlling their feelings
Yeah.
either. There's that as well,
yeah.
right?
So don't give yourself that excuse that I'm supposed to be less sensitive. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
Little boys are just as sensitive as little girls, and that just continues until they're both grown-ups. There's no such thing as by default men are less sensitive. Therefore, they should be able to process, or not even process, just ignore feelings better than women and not let it affect them. That's a double standard, and that has no scientific credibility to it.
I guess maybe it helps if you kind of share. I mean, in our relationship, that I take your feelings into consideration a lot, and it's significant for me how you feel. I mean, how does that then make you feel to kind of have that new perception?
Well, I think I am functioning much better as a human being. I am better at my work. I'm better at talking to my patients because I'm able to process things or acknowledge things that I didn't even know existed before. When someone is allowed to process their feelings and use it to their advantage, it's very powerful. 3 years ago, before I dated this wonderful person, there would be no way I would be telling or sharing these kinds of things on video, because that would be very my ego, my man ego. The stereotype of guys being in touch with their feelings are not men. That would get in the way. So guys, if you're watching this, there's no shame in expressing feelings. It doesn't make you less of a man. I hope you feel that way. And you don't have to start with your friends. Don't start from where you're not comfortable. Just start from yourself first. Just be aware of your feelings more. I personally started being aware of my feelings more, and I deliberately made some changes. So when I'm talking to Tessa, someone I know I could trust about feelings, instead of saying, I think, blah, 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 I would say, I feel, blah, blah, blah. And that just started triggering other things. That's a small change, and I didn't mean it at first. First, it was rather forced when I say I feel rather than I think, and then I start meaning it. And then you start changing your mindset. You start changing how you process information. Instead of always just thinking about information, also consider what this is doing right now and combine that information and then say it to someone or feel it or think it or whatever. So these are small changes that you can do, that you can start from yourself. If you feel you have someone, see, I just said feel. 3 years ago, I would say, if you think you have someone, no. But now I say, if you feel you have someone that you can trust with your feelings that won't judge you, let's say a really close friend or parent or girlfriend or wife, then you can share with that person. It's up to you where you start. Start where you're comfortable at and then expand. The ultimate end goal would be society in itself accepts guys who shares their feelings. But start from yourself.
Even as for us girls, we have the responsibility as well to help any male friend, brothers, fathers, uncles, whoever we know, that if they start, if they talk to us about their feelings, if they want to curhat, is that we are there for them and we treat them just equally. We don't treat them any different. It's not like, oh my God, you're a guy and why are you talking in so much detail about your feelings? So don't make any comment. Any small comments that you make regarding their gender and regarding that them expressing their feelings is like special, or it makes them a bit weird or out of the ordinary. Any little comments that's gonna hinder them. We also have a responsibility as girls to anyway be there for anyone, male, female, just anyone that wants to talk about their feelings and not judge them just because they happen to be of a different gender than us. So it goes both ways. We help each other out.
If you think you need help, there are counselors and psychologists and people who can help you, professionally help you, and there's no shame in that as well. Girls, if you have boyfriends or friends or whoever you might think might benefit from this video, please tell them about it. There is no shame in spreading this around. Hopefully guys will find this useful.
We hope you enjoy this video, and again, if you think it might help some people, please do share if you want to. Thanks for being here. Bye.